Good evening and good afternoon for those of you in Central Time. How y'all doing? Welcome to Owlet Season 3.5. Welcome to the set of Majors games here that we got going on today. Today promises, according to the Misfit metric, to be an excellent showdown. Bandicoots taking on the Bench Boys. I am Demetar, and I'm today joined by Turnwald. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this matchup today. Both teams are coming off solid victories in their previous matchups, and they're looking to really slug it out today in the primetime special on the Owlet Tournament Twitch.
Should be a heavyweight match, as you said. You know, you're looking at the player cards here today, Turnwald, and some of these veterans of, formerly Owlet Miners. You got their coach, Bowl of Bowls. This guy was a Season 2 champion, tank MVP in Season 3. And, as a coach today, what are you expecting from the side of Bench Boys that are going to give them the edge in this matchup?
Well, I think the Bench Boys all around have a very strong lineup. I don't see many weak spots at all in there. But I think when you have the expertise from a coach like Bowl of Bowls, that really helps to put him over the edge and get that team cohesion in there. So I think I would look for concise plays from Bench Boys today and really just drive home advantages when they have them.
Mm-hmm. And on the opposing side, you have guys like Mr. Crit, again, another Owlet veteran. He's participated in every season pretty much. To my knowledge, he's a 4.3K hit scan player. He tried out for a couple of, some of the Tier 3 teams that I'm affiliated with. And, again, another good roster. So it is going to be a heavyweight battle. But, looking here as we go into map 1, it's going to be Oasis. What are your thoughts here for this map here, Turnwald?
I would like to see teams try to control the high ground here on point when they come out. It looks like Farah might be shown by Monk on the Crusaders, which I think Farah has a lot of natural cover if they can hide behind like the arches here, if they're really holding the chokes. But it looks like Crusaders are showing dive here, so I'm pretty excited about that. It looks like Bench Boys might be doing the same. Blackman's kind of messing around the spawn a little bit. We'll see here.
I mean, Hog did get buffed, so we could potentially be seeing that. That damage certainly been ramped up from the side of Blackman here, playing that Hog. If he were to so choose it, we're showing Hog and Ball. Interesting from Milk and Blackman, and this really is Bench Boys' game to lose here. So I'm excited to see these two compositions here go head to head with Astergo or Siaguli, formerly in Hawk, taking on McNubian and Paper Monk with that Farah Genji versus Farah Tracer.
Okay, so it looks like Bench Boys are going to be coming out on the Winston Zarya here. You see that a lot in the Overwatch League, and we'll see how that fares here today. Bench Boys are looking to go for the high ground here to get everyone up there. Interestingly, though, that they're still running the Brig for Bench Boys. Let's see how that plays out. Pharmacy's putting in a lot of poke damage. Nothing's really happening here. Purple onto the Crusaders Winston. Crusaders dives on the back line. Their Winston's isolated. It will be able to get out. Both tanks are in. And looks like Crusaders pick up 2 quick kills. Jonathan retaliates with a pick onto Clutch Caliber. And it looks to be Crusaders that will control the point here.
Yeah, I mean, Blackman still is going to try to win this one back with his high charge, but it's not really going to matter. I think the key difference here, as I said, is going to be that Farah versus that Tracer pick, right? And potentially even that Brigida pick, because Brig is a little bit more difficult to get that value out of now, considering the new nerfs. Her Inspire is just way less rewarding, I would say. Blackman
and then Blackman gets low.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but they're gonna have to rally back here and make some smart decisions, because it's not easy to recontest versus this Pharmacy who's just gonna consistently pound your backline. But that's a good way to open up for Blackman.
Okay, Res comes through on the Clutch Caliber. Milk jumps in the backline, commits Bubble though. Nano's coming through here soon. Barrage comes out, no kills yet. Aster gets the pick, and it is Bench Boys in the kill feed. Looks like they just need to clean up on point here. They only had to commit the Nano there, so that's pretty good for them.
Yeah, I think that's a crucial misuse of resources from the side of Bandicoots. You have Clutch Caliber moving up, and he gets taken down. You have to invest that res early, and then you really got nothing. And once that Brigida moves in to actually take that close brawl, things are looking way up for the side of Bench Boys. But Bandicoots are in decent shape to take this back. You got a Nano Blade coming up, a Primal. This should be a decent fight, and certainly an ult heavy one. Which you look at the sides of bench boys, we've got this grab and this blade, and it's going to be a rough fight for either team.
Grab committed from Blackman, gets two picks on the Zarya and Genji. Primal committed from Clutch Caliber, but right now bench boys seem to have control of the point. Only committed the grab, it seems. So a one ult fight win. Pretty dominant here from the bench boys.
Yeah, clean and efficient. That's what I like to see in terms of ult economy from, you know, teams especially in the majors division, right? You know, minors, you know, you play a little bit looser and faster, as I said in yesterday's cast, but you know, now you look at this big majors division and these coaches more experienced, and teams learn how to cycle those ultimates efficiently, and you know, you take that fight any day if you're the bench boys using just the grab.
Nanoblade coming out from the Crusaders. Milk's in the back line, but 2 kills already for the bench boys. Trades on the Blackman for the tank. Rally committed. Nanoblade's finishing out here. And it seems that bench boys have good control of the point here. Jonathan's doing the Genji on Brig, gets the pick, and bench boys hold the point.
Yeah, Milk really put in the work there, but hats off to Jonathan being able to find value with this Brigade. A hell of a nice rally, getting in there, taking the brawl, and you know, it's just efficient and methodical gameplay from the side of bench boys. It's gonna win them out this round potentially. You know, big ultimate difference here. You got the Nanoblade coming up exactly, and the side of Bandicoots, they got nothing really to work with.
Nanoblade committed. Primal in the back, looking to stall at the point. 2 kills already for Hawk. 3 even with the triple kill. And they just got to clamp on point here, and then it's all over.
Yeah, it is, like I said, quite efficient gameplay. All they really had to do is, you know, I'm assuming one of their supports doing the ult tracking, Misfit or Jonathan, saying, all right, they've got nothing. So then it's really just a matter of playing aggressive, playing smart, and playing fast, and bench boys did just that. Pops the Nanoblade, goes in with what other ultimates they had remaining, and just a clean and efficient fight. So, you know, Turnwald, you've had experience with the main tank position. Anything you would say to Clutch and the side of Bandicoots to maybe try to turn this one around for him? Because I think mainly the main difference there is just ult usage. So what would you say to them?
Yeah, I think Clutch might be committing a little too heavily when they were on dive there. Especially with the Brigida pick, they really got to just kind of focus down the targets that they're looking for. And if there's any sort of, you know, lapse in that communication, then that's just not going to work out.
For sure. And different looks here coming from both sides. You got Bandicoot on that junk sim, a really good close quarters composition, but you have the bench boys meeting with the Siegfried, so we'll see what happens here.
2 picks already for the side of bench boys. Ooh, but Jonathan gets too close to the Junkrat and meets his maker. But it looks to be bench boys that will control the point. Astergo steps in the Junkrat trap, you know, probably intentional to get that extra healing though, definitely not an accident. And it looks like bench boys will look to control these chokes here with their poke and the Sigma.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the junk symmetric comp. I think it works fairly well in these close quarter fights, but I think that Bandicoots just didn't play it correctly. They need to take a fight on that left side and start forcing out CDs and potentially that wall early, but none of that happened, so maybe we'll see if they can do it here in this fight.
And Bandicoots do switch over to the Rhine Sigma to match the bench boys. Coalescence committed, but a charge onto Milk, and he gets picked out. Astergo finds the pick, and the Coalescence, and comes through and May with the pick. And bench boys will continue to control this. They keep finding a way, even after losing their main tank.
Yeah, I mean, that's just clutch gameplay for Misfit and Blackman. Like, they came up big in that fight. Milk kind of feeds, but it's a thing that we call tactical feeding in the main tank handbook. You know, he goes in, hooks up all those cooldowns. Misfit comes in with the Coalescence and just gets the big value from then on out.
Yeah, Shatter and Flux come out, kind of a double tank ultimate here. Milk goes down. Blizzard commit. There are a lot of ults coming out here. 2 picks on the side of bench boys. Only 1 for the Crusaders, but nice pin on to May. The Sigma is purple here, and if they can focus them down, they should win the point here. But they cannot get Blackman. Shatter comes through, blocked by the shield, and it's a miscalculation there. Not enough focus fire, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I think that, you know, Chino did a very decent job of splitting up the side of bench boys, but again, bench boys comes back stronger, and they find those targets and they focus them extremely quickly with with efficiency, you know, and they just couldn't find the kills from the side of Bandicoots, and now it's going to be a rough fight for them coming into this one.
Coalescence coming out. What's committed? No one. Oh, they get 2 in the upper wow. That is a big off high quality. Sound Barrier committed though from Crusaders. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the side of Crusaders taking, or side of Crusaders here taking this one. Kind of unlucky ult usage there from the side of Bench Boys, but you know, you've got Jonathan now. He's coming up on the beat. You've got Milk. He's going to have the Shatter soon, but ooh. I think it was just a clutch play, but high quality and an excellent follow up.
Yeah, very true. And I think this is Jonathan's first beat he's coming off here. That first fight where he got picked early really hurt his Sound Barrier ult percentage. He's been very slow on this, so he didn't have the beat there for the Flux. And if he doesn't get value off of the beat here, I kind of want to see a switch through.
Yeah, completely agreed. And you know, you'd like to see a little bit more high quality play here, but you know, gonna turn this around. Nice Shatter.
Oh, the Shatter from Milk gets 3. And it is gonna be Bench Boys taking the point back. They just got to pick up the kills here on the clutch caliber. And I think that was an overcommit from McNewbie in there. They tried to dump resources in to save them, and it just did not work out.
Yeah, most definitely. You're gonna see some stall swaps, but they're not gonna come through. And a valiant effort from Crusaders there, but it's just gonna be an overwhelming victory here from the side of Bench Boys. And you know, the misfit metric definitely coming out strong here as we see a nice play here from Hawk. But you know, Turnwald, if you know, looking at this just from an objective state in terms of composition and you know, how they're playing, is there anything that you know you think could potentially turn the tides here? Because it seems that Bench Boys is just playing too methodical and a little bit too smart to kind of keep up. But you know, anything that you would try to say?
Yeah, I mean, I would want to see the Crusaders kind of commit to the comp they wanted there. So on the previous map, you know, they came out on the Rhine Zarya, and they needed to brawl, but I don't think they brawled smartly, and it seemed also that the Bench Boys had the May pick to try to break up their brawl. For me personally, I think it's going to come down to the Crusaders capitalizing on the Bench Boys' mistakes. So while Bench Boys did play very well there, Crusaders definitely did have the opportunity to, you know, win the fights and win the map there. So I think if they can just improve their communication here, they should make a lot closer.
For sure, and you bring up an interesting point about opportunities, right? When it comes down to it, creating opportunities is what's gonna, or at least what I think, you know, to your point, is what's going to give Crusaders the edge. Is if they can make the opportunities to find the picks, find the splits, and basically give Bench Boys a taste of chaos. Then that's what's going to get them through. Because you look at some of these teams that, you know, play the meta, that, you know, play to the strengths of the, you know, the current given situation with the new patch and all the new things. So Bull doing an excellent job of showing these guys the way of how to play these compositions. But, you know, looking at the Overwatch League, you know, you see teams like Chengdu, you know, teams like Shanghai back in Stage 3 when they ran these ball comps and little interesting things that shake up our puny meta knowledge. So maybe if Crusaders give them a taste of that and just try to outplay them with a new style, then who knows, we could be looking at a very different matchup.
Yeah, I think, you know, especially since, you know, these aren't Overwatch League teams, I think if you do show them a little bit of chaos, it will be tough for them to respond and coordinate to punish any, you know, silly plays, say by a Wrecking Ball, overcommitting and whatnot. But as we go to Dorado here for the next map, I'm looking maybe for a Pharah pick. I think Crusaders ran Pharah on Oasis there for a bit, and I know Pharah can be very strong here on first point. So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, look. So Pharah is one of those picks that that kind of again throws a wrench in things, right? You know, Pharah receiving the buffs for the movement and being a little bit more elusive in the air. I think you could definitely be seeing some of it. You know, you saw in Miners the other day where you look at some of these Miners players from Kraken Skulls and I believe it was Deja from the side of Vote Meme today. But Pharah is a good pick, and I think that, you know, these Reinhardt comps that Milk is running and maybe even the Zarya comps, like, what are you going to do if you're a Zarya monkey against a Pharmercy, right? you have to force these swaps. They'll go to Diva to try to contest it, right? So, I think Pharah could be the answer to Crusaders' problems, but not gonna put a bow on it and say, all right, Pharah's the answer. But could be an interesting shakeup.
Yeah, we'll see what they run out here on first. Personally, on Dorado, I'm not a big fan of the map because I feel like you can get stuck in that first choke underneath the arch way too often. But it seems Crusaders are a fan on the map. They're going to choose to go with it. But
yeah, I think Dorado's one of those high groundy maps that you could be seeing the Pharah on, and I feel like Blackman's teasing us with this hog, but I do want to see it.
Yeah, for sure. I know Astergo has a very strong hit scan, so if he's on his game, he could shut down this Pharah. And they are coming out on defense, so it looks like they're going to be running the Mercy Ash for damage boost on her. So it'll be tough to see if McNewbie can put pressure on Astergo, so Monk has a lot of room to work with.
Yeah, for sure. And this is a comp that I like. Like, I really think this comp has potential here. You see Sombra as a staple, right now in Owl and Tier 3 and Tier 2 especially, right? It's a great pick, it's very solid, and it allows for Crusaders to have what's called a trigger. And for those of you that don't know, a trigger in a dive composition it's something that allows you to basically commit to a target, right? Hacking a target guarantees that you will get value if you dive them. So, a Winston, which is typically not a diveable target, if he gets hacked, game over. You dive that target, he dies. So I'm excited to see how Crusaders will try to utilize Sombra and Pharah to their advantage and throw in that chaos like we were talking about.
All right, so Monk's going to start on the high ground here with Hawk, looking to get that positioning up top, going to do some poke damage in. Monk comes out on the Pharah, putting some spam, and Bubble committed onto Milk, and he has his own shield that he drops, goes back up to high ground, and Clutch gives chase but doesn't commit. A lot of poke damage coming out from each team right now. Nothing really too decisive on either point. I would like to see the Sombra from Crusaders get a little more value on their poke, and
Clutch.
It's just not good there.
Yeah, Clutch overcommits in a very heavy manner, and the bubble cooldowns were used a little bit too early, and now you're just seeing effective target focus from the side of Bench Boys. What Crusaders should be doing is actually, utilizing your bubble cooldowns to take staging away from the side of Bench Boys. You see where Milk and Hawk are playing, right? They get them off there. You see where Astra's playing, get them off. These players are holding you back from getting value, and as you see, it's dangerous. Chinook goes down off the start, right? So this Farm Mercy, not going to get enough value if that Ash Mercy is still in play, as you can see.
Yeah, I would like to see a swap for the Crusaders off this Pharmacy. I think they just need to try to go head-to-head with Astergo on the Ash here. And it looks like they're going to try to set up a dive here. McNewbie's running around. Bob committed from Astergo into the back line. They're going to have to put some resources on that. Nano onto Clutch Caliber. He's on Astergo. Picks him off. This is winnable for Crusaders here. They just need to focus here and get the kills. Pharah's still going strong here, get a lot of poking, but Black finds a pick on a Chi. So that's a lot of healing gone. Loses Valk in the process. Not lose Valk, getting committed. Nanoblade comes out, and Bench Boys are looking to hold this.
Yeah, I mean, that's just textbook mid-fight shot calling from the side of Bench Boys. You're in the middle of a panicked fight. The chaos is coming through. Crusaders doing a good job of landing that initial pick. Paper Monk putting in the work, so maybe we stay with this far after all. It's just the fact that Bench Boys coordinated and strong. They come back, they say, hey, let's go for Nano Blade. It's winnable. They do it, execute it properly, and now we're looking at a very different sequence of events coming through.
4 ults coming online here for Crusaders, though, so they should win this fight if they execute correctly. EMP is going to be the big one. So I would like to see him EMP the backline and die, but they do find the pick on Astergo. Rez comes through, though, so 6v6 again. Barrage comes out, finds Milk. Astergo picks off Monk. But Card does continue to progress while all this is happening. Clutch is primarily in the backline, but he's purple and very low. Let's see if the Card can get underneath this choke before Bench Boys realize and commit resources to it. Looks like a 4v1 here as High Quality just runs fearlessly into the enemy team. And it looks like Bench Boys are going to stabilize here because of the overcommit from High Quality.
Yeah, big cleanup coming through from Bench Boys, but on the back of High Quality, you know, it's unfortunate, but you know, we're looking at a really staggered fight here, and it looks like Bench Boys is going to eventually prevail due to respawns. But you know, I think Crusaders are in this now. They have some forward momentum, and that's what's really important in this matchup. And you got the EMP, got the grab. The only issue is that Bench Boys are no slouch either. They're coming up on all 6 of their ultimates. So if I'm the Crusaders, I've got to be fast and I've got to be smart. You EMP first, follow up with grab. Maybe you Valk early to give yourself an advantage. It's really a matter of how fast they are.
EMP commit, but only gets the Ana. If they focus them down, it's big. They get those healers on the side of the Bench Boys. Asterio finds 2 though in the pharmacy. It is really even the kill feed back and forth here, but the Bob is popping off for Bench Boys. And Bench Boys will hold it here, it looks like. Only high quality left on the point. Primal comes through to knock him off. And Bench Boys holds that on the back of the 3K from Astergo.
Yeah, Astergo and Milk just come up huge. You know, the Bob comes through, the picks are landed. Crusaders did exactly what I thought they would, or what they should have done. Landed the EMP, 2 picks off the start, great shots by Paper Monk, having that pressure come through. The issue is that despite the low amount of heals, Primal Rage and Bob don't care about getting healing. Primal Rage is the healing, and Bob is a 7th man. And Bob picks up 2 because of the low resources that Crusaders pretty much already used in the initial turn of their fight. So it was unfortunate timing, but that's what we call a low resource Bob, and those are usually the ones that get the most value. And then Milk just pops the Primal, forces high quality off the point, and finishes off McNewbie there at the end. It's quite unfortunate, but you know, Crusaders almost got it done, so they are still in this. If they can put up a strong hold with somewhat of a wacky composition, then who knows? You know, Ash, Kree, Hog, it's very interesting, and actually could be decent against a Monkey Ball if Bench Boys so decide to roll out with it.
Yeah, I think when your back's up against the wall, sometimes you gotta get a little creative. If you're not confident in what you have been running, it's time to just go for hard counters onto the other team and what they have been running. But I just want to circle back to that last fight there, is that their big EMP combo that they want to do with grab only caught the Ana. And I think if there was a better EMP, then Crusaders might still be playing on offense now. But it looks like Crusaders will set up here on the first corner, which really opens them up to high ground poke. And Asterio finds the opening pick on a McNewbie. Let's see if the res can come through. It doesn't look like she wants to commit. McCree's going on the flank here, but just like I said, high ground comes through for the Bench Boys, and they're just tearing them apart, poking them out. Charge just to reset click, and it's, yeah, Bench Boys are being dominant here.
Yeah, I thought that was smart from the side of Crusaders, you know, holding close, trying to maximize the fights that you get. If you held back, you would have only gotten 1 fight and this would already be over, but because they held up front, they might have the chance to touch again, especially with Clutch Caliber switching over to the Wrecking Ball. So, you know, we could be seeing a second fight, but it does look a little bit grim, considering Hawk is already this close to a blade.
Yeah, Stun comes through onto the ball, but he escapes. Flat finds a pick on a newbie, but Caliber onto a Astergo. And it looks like Crusaders are stabilizing here. They come back on a mashup of dive and brawl here, and they're making it work. Power drives come in, a lot of damage going out on the Bench Boys, and Clutch Caliber is already 70% to Minefield, so they might be able to hold it here.
Yeah, this could be huge for Crusaders. You know, you come back, you get a strong fight. Clutch already gets close to the Minefield now, but you know, Nanoblade and Primal coming out soon for Bench Boys, so it's all about how they respond.
Coalescence committed. Well, Nanoblade comes through, gets 2 picks, Clutch onto a Astergo, but the main source of field is gone for Crusaders, and they're going to find a way to finish this fight quickly if they want to survive. 2 more picks come out, and it is just the Wrecking Ball and Lucio on point, trying to stall as long as they can. And it's just cleanup that comes through here for Bench Boys, and it looks like they will take Dorado.
Yeah, just as I thought. Nanoblade comes through, and there's not much that Crusaders can do about it, really. I mean, your sound barrier was many percentage away from actually coming online for them, and there's really no counter to it when you don't have it. Your only option is to play super aggressive, like onto the back line, so Misfit doesn't even have the chance to pop the nano. But, you know, I think right here in this current moment, that's not a decision that can be made on the fly. And, you know, I think it's really just a testament to how well Bench Boys are playing, and I think Crusaders has the potential to live up to it, especially with a good coach like Hyper. But I think right now we're just looking at a bit of a skill gap.
Yeah, I mean, I think Crusaders can definitely make it a lot closer than it has been, though. There
sure.
have been some bright spots in there, especially by their tank play there at the end to come back on the dive
Yep.
and really solidify that hold there when they did. So I think maybe if they can put some more resources into their tanks here, they might be able to make it a little bit closer.
Yeah, I think another highlight, Paper Monk, right? Paper Monk showing up big on that Pharah, landing at least 2 kills a fight. It's just a matter of capitalization, and I think that Bench Boys remains calm in the mid fight and are actually, coming up with the goods. They're saying like, all right, this is what needs to happen, and this is how we're gonna get it done. But unfortunately, Crusaders are not at that stage where they can be in the chaos and have like, I don't know, a Winston and a Genji in your backline and be like, all right, let's get this done. So really good play from Bench Boys, and Crusaders not making it easy, but we're gonna be back for the second half after this game break here. So stay tuned, and we'll see if Crusaders can make it a good run. Welcome back to Owlet Season 3.5. Here we have, once again, the Bench Boys taking on the Crusaders, not the Bandicoots. Pardon me for Oasis. All in good fun here, though. But Turnwald, we're looking at, like we said, a heavyweight matchup, but so far, looks to be Bench Boys here a little bit on the in the driver's seat here in this match. And going into the hybrid map, we have King's Row coming up, and if I know anything about Milk and Blattman, it's going to be a Reinhardt Sigma or maybe even Rein Zarya, good matchup here for the tanks.
Yeah, I do want to see Milk on the Reinhardt King's Row. I mean, there's not many better combinations in Overwatch than Reinhardt and King's Row. But on the side of Crusaders, I kind of want to see them try to throw a wrench in the system here and really just experiment with the comps. Because if you're down 0-2, you need to make something work here. So if we get like a Hog and Ball or Hog and Winston or something crazy like that, I don't know, just really throwing ideas out there. I just kind of want to see them change it up.
Yeah, I mean that's fair, right? I mean I'm not a huge fan of just throwing things at the wall and see what sticks, but if you're Crusaders, maybe that's what you do, right? You see that the cards are down and this is the hand that you were dealt, so I think it's up to them to pick up the pieces and try to make it work here and be inspiring, as Super would say.
Yeah, if anything's been inspiring so far, it has been the play on the side of the Bench Boys. I've seen Astergo pop off, get multiple triple kills, and Milk seems to be really dominating as well on main tank. So maybe if Crusaders can really focus on Astergo here and try to take him out of the game, they might stand a better chance here against the Bench Boys.
Hello.
Yeah, and Astergo, excellent hit scan pedigree. You look at him last season for Otter Oxide. Excellent gameplay, right? You have Misfit, Jonathan, Hawk, formerly part of the Ohio Obos, the Season 1 champions, and same for Blattman, of course. And these are players who've been putting in a lot of work in this offseason. I can personally attest to that. And it should be a good one coming in here. And we will be seeing a Reinhardt v Reinhardt, so I'm interested to see how Clutch handles Milk, and maybe Clutch get a couple on him.
Okay, yeah, they're going to be running Mei on the side of, or on both teams actually, so we'll see how these walls come out and split people off. But in big initial first pick onto the Ana, and I think Crusaders just need to back out and regroup. Ooh, nice pin though on Milk, but unfortunately Crusaders won't be able to capitalize off that. But if they regroup fast enough, they might be able to push the one-man advantage. Yeah,
I mean, Hawk quite literally just did the most amazing split I've ever seen. He caught Gerbert, like holding W. He walls him, so Gerbert is walking, falls off the ice cliff, and then gets thrown directly into the fire of Bench Boys. And now it's really up to them to just keep setting this pace.
Okay. While Astergo does get the pick onto the Lucio, there is positioning here for the Crusaders. So if they can play slow enough and hold their positioning, they should be able to hold here and win. But they need to back off because they're taking too much damage. So I think they kind of threw away the advantage they have there, but when you're down a man, it's tough to make that call.
Oh, yeah, I mean, just composition-wise, like, you look at the Reaper Mei versus the Ashe Mei, there's way more poke coming from the side of Bench Boys, and, I think it's up to Crusaders to hold W and maybe wall off Astergo and just push hard and deep. They have Lucio, the other team has Brig, so you have to out-tempo these guys, but that doesn't seem to be happening with the Flux coming out.
Yeah, Bob comes out from Astergo looking to just delay this push, and it is all blue in the kill feed. Only the Bob and the Flux committed from Bench Boys, only 2 ult fight, and they look to be in the driver's seat here.
Yeah, I mean, this is making me smile. Like Bench Boys' play is reminding me of, some of the higher level stuff that you're seeing. Flux Bob, classic combo, right? It works. Fundamentally, it's great, and it's good to see, the coaching and just the excellent stylistic gameplay coming through from the side of Bench Boys. But Crusaders are not going to make it easy. They do have the Mei ult here coming in, and it gets tossed early.
Ooh, Nano committed onto the Reinhardt, but Nano the Reaper to finish him off. Crusaders get 3. They look to control here on point. They just got to clean up here. Seems to be a pretty safe and decisive win for the Crusaders. They get point A. And I would like to see them push up, get positioning here. But Bench Boys are coming back, and they won't make it easy.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think it's just a bit of an ult advantage there from the side of Crusaders, but they get it done, and they get it done efficiently, and they trade well. It was just Hawk throws his Blizzard in, Paper Monk throws his Blizzard in, and Just good ult usage, but they're gonna take the brawl early here from the side of Bench Boys.
Yeah, I think on the side of Paper Monk, I want to see more decisive walls to split the Bench Boys up. And obviously, Bench Boys are making that difficult by playing very well and playing very close together. They split off Clutch, but the cart comes through and destroys the wall. The grab gets eaten by Blatman. Big ult negated, and the shatter comes through from Milk. Oh, but the death boss from McNewbie gets 5, and oh my word, what a turnaround. McNewbie puts the team on his back and says, not today. We are going to win this fight.
Technically 6. He got the Bob.
True. Bob's 7th man.
Indeed.
I always like
well played. Well played. I think the shatter comes out from Milk, excellently placed, but McNewbie he's had enough of it. The nano comes out from Gerbert and flashback to the old days of Beyblade meta. It was excellent combo, but I'm not sure how long it's going to last considering they were down 1 and they're going into this fight.
McNewbie had a chance to pick off the sleeping Mei there, but missed the shots, it looks like. But he does find the pick onto the Ana now.
Yes.
Blood committed from Blatman. Sound Barrier comes out. They should win this now. They're up a man. They just need to play decisively and really commit here. Ooh, but Clutch goes into the back line. It's possibly still when both they can find Alter and commit with the Blizzard. But Blizzard comes out first from the Bench Boys with the Sound Barrier, and it looks like they will stabilize here.
I mean, they just press the advantage way too hard. Like, I get it, you're up 1, excellent play, Clutch drops a shatter early, Misfit gets picked off, right? Good play, you had them there, you see they kept pushing methodically and with purpose, but instead you just charge right in, you lose your main tank, and then they can stabilize, and Hawk pushes right back with that Blizzard, finds the kills necessary, and, we could have been having a way different conversation here, Turnwald, but unfortunately, they just hit the gas a little bit too hard.
Yeah, I don't know if Milk faked a charge or something to bait, the counter charge from Clutch. But I'm a little perplexed by that charge. But Crusaders are re-engaging here. Shadow Step onto the high ground from McNewbie.
That's good.
And the big Deadeye coming out from Astero gets the 3K and another one alt fight win. And Bench Boys are just executing like a Swiss watch here. And there's maybe 2 fights left. If Crusaders are lucky, most likely just 1. And we're heading to a pause here.
Yeah, unfortunate, but it is going to be a bit of an unfortunate showing here. But we'll be right back after this pause.
Now entering King's Row.
Did the stream break? Okay. All right, so we get right back into it here. Clutch is looking to win point B here on King's Row. They have a Nano and Grav coming up against a Shatter and a Flux from the side of Bench Boys. So I think if they can finish off these ults and win decisively, maybe a Nanoed Rhine into the Grav, they can really put the brakes on the advantage that Bench Boys had. But comes out here, big purple and a Clutch as he charges in. Bigger Shatter, even from Milk. And the Crusaders are going to regroup very quickly here to have one more fight.
Yeah, I mean, that's just clinical play, right? You're seeing that super inspirational gameplay coming through. Milk definitely showing his stuff here, but, like I said earlier, that's the matchup I'm looking at. This main tank versus main tank, and Milk just took his turn, so I'm interested to see how Clutch is going to respond to the Shatter of his own, and potentially a combo with the Nano or the Grab, or even the Reaper ult that we saw just a second ago.
Ooh, an early Flux out from Bench Boys. The charge to finish off Clutch from Milk. It is all Bench Boys in the kill feed. The Nano Reaper is trying to go to point. He teleports there to trigger overtime. The Blizzard comes out, but he gets picked off, and apparently never reached the park.
I mean, that's just smart. Like, again, I can't fault these guys for their intelligent gameplay. Like, the most important thing that I drill into my players, you know, or at least my players who are shot callers, when I'm coaching, is that when you're down in ults, you have to take almost like a blind aggression and use, you know, the ultimates that you have, or in Bench Boy's case, just the one, right? You know, you ult track properly, and you say, okay, they have Shatter, they have Grab, they have Reaper ult, they have as many ults as they had, and it was just a glaring advantage. And so what Bench Boys did is they're like, okay, let's turn up the tempo. They flux early, they negate one of those ultimates, and get an early kill because of the flux onto Clutch Caliber, so that Shatter's gone. And then once the main tank difference is there, like, or the main tank advantage, excuse me, you can't solidly win that fight. So again, like, Bench Boys are really impressing me here with just how efficient they are, and their shot calling, and just the little things that make Overwatch exciting.
Yeah, and I'm getting word that we only have audio on the stream right now, so I'm gonna try to do more of a radio cast for you guys. So it's gonna be Ryan, Sig, Ash, May, Ana, and Lucio for the side of Crusaders, with the Ryan, Sig, Widow, Echo, Ana, Lucio for the side of Bench Boys. So Astero's looking for this opening pick here on King's Row. It's up top. High quality is shielding and off. Fire Strike comes through to get some ult charge. And teams are just really poking each other at the choke right now. Nothing really too decisive happening. And Astero makes a switch over to Ash after not getting that opening pick. And already, Crusaders have given up a lot of room. They're on the back part of the point right now. And we are back to the video now, so we are good there. Teams are just kind of jostling for position. But I'm afraid that the Crusaders have given up a lot of space right now, and they're on the back foot. Hawk finds the pick onto McNewbie. Clutch commits another charge. Doesn't get picked this time, but it seems to be Bench Boys who are in control of this fight. They just need to clean up here, and it's all Bench Boys from point A.
I mean, that's just efficient angular pressure, right? You know, you see Milk and Blatman, right? You would typically see Zarya just for better brawl, right? But with this current patch, and you know how things have been shaking up, especially in recent, you know, you have Orisa Sigma brawl with Brig. You know, now it's about ankles, and Blatman and Milk, they come from two separate spots, and they essentially do what's called a pinch. And Blatman comes from one side, Milk comes from the other. They pressure them back and basically force Crusaders to give up what little space they had. But you know, coming into this second point, I'm not sure if the same thing can happen.
Okay, a lot of resources are being committed out here from the Crusaders. Oh, and a 5-man shatter from Milk. He gets the 2K off of it. Hawk and Milk clean up in the kill feed, and that is just a simple main take difference right there.
I mean, that is just brutal.
The big shatter comes through, and to win a fight off of the one shatter, after Crusaders committed so many ults to get positioning.
Oh, and the nano.
It's, yeah. Very dominant performance here from the Bench Boys. However, if Crusaders can commit their own ults here with the Shatter and Flux, they should be able to retake this here. Early Bob from Astergo into the backline. Ana was not in a position to sleep the Bob. Flux comes through, big sound barrier. They lose their Ash, and it seems Bench Boys are in control this year. Clutch commits the charge. Blizzard and Flux come through. A lot of ults are coming out. Copy from Hawk gets 2 with the Flux. This man's unstoppable. He does it all in Echo. He gets the kills with the sticky bones, and he gets the kills with the Flux.
I mean, and just clinical, absolutely clinical from Bench Boys, and we are going to see the last embers of Crusaders try to come through with this one, but it's going to be the Bob starts to get focused down, and you know, Ball coming through for high quality, just trying to make it last. He gets Blatman, and it is going to be Hawk and Astergo still alive, but they could potentially go down as well, and we might be seeing another fight here for Crusaders.
Okay, so yeah, Crusaders are able to stabilize off of the beautiful pin by Clutch Caliber on the Milk. They really set it off there, but unfortunately their comp is not ideal now. And we got Bob coming up and Nano and all the Shatter for the side of Bench Boys. Early Bob coming in to get positioning, but I think they might be able to LOS this. The Nano's coming onto the Winston here. Milk charges into the backline. Beautiful charge. Picks 2. But while their main tank's not there, Crusaders get 2 more. And they, oh, and a Shatter from Milk. He gets 2. Get the May on the ground. A lot of sustain gone. honestly, on the point, is anyone's game here really, but the tanks are still here for the side of Bench Boys. Ball is back quick, and if they can continue to stall, there's a chance they can hold, but I think there's just too much here with the tanks on the side of Bench Boys.
Yeah, I agree, Turnwald. I mean, right now it's all Bench Boys, and like I said, the last Ember is coming through. They desperately were trying to win this one. Crusaders on the brink of pulling it back. Some excellent clutch fights there, but you know, I think it was just too methodical and too clinical from Bench Boys. We're seeing a somewhat high level of gameplay here in the Majors division, and it's refreshing to see. You know, I talked about earlier, like, you know, the shot calling and the ult usage, and a lot of this is just clean gameplay comparatively. And I think that maybe Bench Boys could potentially punch above their weight, and there certainly are the heavyweight here, according to the Misfit metric, which I think works. This is a decent showing, and I think if they continue to prove this day in and day out, that you know, that is well deserved, the title of #1.
Yeah, honestly, overall dominant showing from Bench Boys today. Valiant effort by the Crusaders, though, to fight back as much as they could. Honestly, yeah, 3-0 coming through from the Bench Boys. Very strong showing from Astergo. Lots of highlights there, and lots of highlights from Milk, too. If I had to pick 2 players that really carried this match, I would say it would be Milk and Astergo. As we try to, you know, get everything going here for these interviews at the end, any other thoughts on the game, Demetar, about, you know, any interesting thoughts you saw, ult usage, fights, staggers, anything about that?
I mean, you know, like I said, it's all clinical. I think there is a great degree of polishing that Crusaders could do, but they've got a good base. I think that you know, you look at the gameplay of Clutch Caliber on that Wrecking Ball. Actually, it was surprising, right? It was good. Paper Monk on that Pharah, another bright spot. So I think if maybe this team were to analyze, like just to self-analyze and say, all right, this is what we got, and this is how we can make it work. You know, I think there's a great potential here for both of these teams, but I think today it was just a matter of Bench Boys coming out on top, and we should be able to go ahead and get an interview here with one of the players from the Bench Boys, just to kind of get an insight into how their game went, how they plan out, you know, their fights, and I'm really interested to see, you know, about this coaching especially. So, you know, what are you excited to talk about, Turnwald?
Yeah, I'm excited about the, you know, the shot calling on the sides of Bench Boys, because another thing that stood out to me was their ult usage. They won a significant amount of their fights with just 1 or 2 ults. Very efficient game plan there. And I think, are we going to go to a short break here quick or no? Okay, we're going to go to a short break quick here, and we'll be right back with interviews from the Bench Boys.
Welcome back, everybody. Bringing you this post-game interview of the Bench Boys versus Crusaders match. It was a excellent 3-0 from the side of Bench Boys. Dominant showing. Here we have two of the fine gentlemen playing for the Bench Boys. We have Astergo and Misfit. How you guys doing?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
I would be a little bit better if, I wouldn't have to listen to you brag about how great your Misfit metric is there, buddy.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no knowledge of that statistic whatsoever.
I know you have the
His name is
intention to
clearly
do so.
Rat.
I mean, I want to call him Rat on stream now. That's just unprofessional.
I mean,
Correct.
but he is though.
All right,
That's
guys.
right.
Well,
All right.
well,
Let's just
listen.
get to the
I'm
interview section.
I'm excited to dive right into this because I brought up a lot of things during the cast about your mid fight cool headedness and I don't like to feed your ego, but I do think the Misfit metric is accurate, and I'd like to say that I am very interested to know about how your internal comms work. So can you talk a little bit about who does what, like your mid fight shot calling, your target calls, your ult plans, ult tracks. Like it was all very clean, and I'm not sure some of the depth behind it.
I'm not going to give away too much about the inner workings of our comms, but what I will say is that we have a very, very talented IGL who has everything off and pretty much like demands things to happen, right? Like reminds all of us to do our comm rolls and make sure everything goes smoothly. And it really, really helps us to continue those clean comms and have such a good showing. Because I mean, team play is, there is an individual component. There is players like, CO here who just pop off and get a lot of kills. But when it comes down to it, everyone's got to do their job. Everyone's got to know what their job is. And having an IGL that is really good about keeping everyone on the same page, that really does help make us one of the best teams in this tournament.
Mm-hmm. And I thought it was outstanding. So can you talk a little about like kind of like the hectic nature of this match? You saw Crusaders come out with a hog look, with a Creed look, that dive with the pharmacy. So can you talk about adapting on the fly and trying to stay cool in a situation where you're basically having a bunch of wacky Chengdu-esque elements thrown at you?
CO, you want this one, or should I take
No,
it?
you can continue.
I mean, the way we kind of default is like we have our strats that we come out for each map more, and if we see that we need to adjust and change it up for a specific reason, like let's say like on King's Row there, like we started with the Brig because we wanted to play a little slower. Then we realized we can just run the Lucio and punish them, so we make that swap. And that's kind of what we do for every map, regardless of who we're playing. Is we just go in with the strategy, and if it's not working out, we know what we have to do to switch it up. We adapt on the fly. We know the game well enough to see what's going wrong in our play and make the adjustments we need to make.
And Turnwald, you got anything for CO or Rat?
Yeah, so I heard some rumors in the rumor mill that CO's gonna be focusing more on Valorant here in the future, and he comes off a very dominant performance today on in Overwatch to help with the 3-0. So CO and Misfit, you can decide who takes this one, but how are you gonna compensate for the loss of CO
Wow, you're not
and his
even gonna let me say
DPS
it?
potency?
You're not even gonna let me say it.
Say what?
You can take this one. Let's let CO have his moment in the spotlight.
Well, after this game, there is possibility of me switching back over to Valorant full time, basically, because I got an offer from a semi-pro team. So I'm, as long as that's gonna go, I'm hoping I'm sticking with them until they find someone. I'm hoping that they can find someone to replace me. So,
Yeah.
All you got there?
yep.
Well, I'll talk a little bit about this too. Is CO's obviously he's a great player and a better friend. We all love having him around. He's a great in game, great out of game, really fun to be around. And losing him, of course, does hurt our power level because he is such an outstanding player. And we had some trials lined up for this week, but obviously it is going to hurt us losing such a talented player. I still think we are one of the best teams in the league, even without CO. We are a very, very talented team throughout the roster. Losing one player isn't going to hurt us that much, but of course, when it's a player who can do what CO can do, it is going to hurt us.
For sure.
So it sucks to lose him, but we wish him all the best, and we wish him good luck and pursuing his career. We know he's gonna do great things in whatever he pursues. So we're just happy that he got something he can really put us all into.
Yeah, CEO, congratulations on the offer. As as a person who's trying to get far in Overwatch, Valorant, another great opportunity, and we wish you in your Sinatra-esque endeavors.
Thank you.
So yeah, this has been the interview here with both Misfit and CEO here for the Bench Boys versus Crusaders match. We appreciate you guys coming out, and it was a great showing from you guys. I'm really interested to see how you guys go forward and live up to the standard of the #1 team. So good luck with all that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, Turn. So any kind of thoughts before we wrap it up here on the stream?
I'm very interested, to see how Bench Boys adapt to losing CEO or Estergo, if that wasn't made clear in the broadcast in the future. How they'll adapt next week, because they have a very dominant performance here with a lot of other good pieces that don't just involve CEO.